House Oversight Committee, Congressman Tim Burchett. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you so much for having me on, ma'am.
You know, Joe Biden, he can't even get a dozen people to come out, right, when he goes to an ice cream shop. Yet President Trump, he can go to the South Bronx and thousands show up. So it's no surprise, right, that Democrat leaders, they're freaking out. They're resorting to insults. Let's take a listen real quick.
Brooklyn is blue, Queens is blue, the Bronx is blue, and he's got nowhere to go. And so he's decided to come to the South Bronx
and invite all his clowns to a place like the Bronx. New York will never, ever support Donald Trump for president. He wants to spend his time doing these made-up fake rallies and pretending their support here. Be my guest.
She even called Trump supporters clowns. Congressman, as a New Yorker, I can assure you that if anybody's laughing at anybody, it's at Kathy Hochul. Yes,
ma'am. Well, my daddy was in the Second World War, and he was in the Marine Corps, and some of his buddies were from some of those areas, and they were definitely not clowns. Hardest working people. I know y'all talk with a funny accent. Being from East Tennessee, I'm the only place in America people don't speak with an accent. But the truth is that this is Trump being Trump. He was telling the truth. He said, I don't care what color your skin is. We're all Americans. And that is a unifying message that you're not hearing from this White House. Joe Biden couldn't get this kind of a crowd. He couldn't get 100 people on the South Lawn if he offered PAC checks to congressmen. Look, this thing is, the country realizes what's going on. You've got a president who doesn't know where he is, has no cognizant value at all, really. And his strings are being pulled. America's tired of it. They're tired of the crime. They're tired of the runaway inflation. The average American's paying anywhere from $200 to $600 more a month since he took office, out of pocket, just for survival. Americans realize that. They want this government off their back. They've seen Big Brother. They've seen big government, and they don't like it.
They certainly don't. And President Trump, as you said, he made it clear that he is the great unifier, not Joe Biden. We saw what he did at Morehouse College, trying to be even more divisive with the students there. Again, Trump, he reiterating that regardless of your color, your creed, black, white, purple, Democrat policies are hurting everyone. Like you said, from the border crisis to the economy, polls show that Trump is gaining popularity among Hispanics, blacks, as well as young voters. Sir, why do you think that is?
I think it's because blacks, Hispanics have been mistreated by our system for decades, if not centuries. And they see how they're abusing Trump, and they're thinking, dadgum, if they can go after him, they can go after me. And that's why they're rallying around it. And they're tired of it. This isn't some made-up crowd. Look at that. Look at the crowd. Black, white, Hispanic, all in there have one thing in agreement: Donald J. Trump. And they know he's got to get back in the White House. And I think they're energized. And I think we're looking at could be a groundswell, and this could be one of the biggest overtakings of a incumbent White House that we've ever seen in our nation's history.
I watched this speech and I thought it was one of the best that President Trump ever put on. One of the moments where he got the crowd really roaring, he talked about the illegal alien crisis and how they're getting more benefits than Black Americans and Hispanic Americans, people that live in the inner city. Do you believe that the illegal alien crisis, the open border policy by Joe Biden, that was finally the tangible straw that broke the Democrat back?
I do, and I see it in New York, especially when they kicked veterans. Here we are, Memorial Day weekend. They kicked veterans out of housing, public housing, to allow illegals to live there. That's happening in America. That's happening in New York. The people of New York are sick of this garbage. These benefits that they paid into to get are now being stolen by somebody coming from overseas or coming from across our border. More times than not, they're almost being invited in. And then they're allowed all these benefits, and they're taking it from them, and they realize it, and they say enough is enough. And Trump is the only one with some guts to say, let's build this dadgum wall. If, all this money we sent to Ukraine, all Trump wanted, remember, was $4 billion to build the wall. He's a contractor. He understands business. He could have built that dadgum wall. But no, they said no. Biden disassembled it and sold it for scrap. And then he sent our hard-earned tax dollars overseas, and he basically put up a green light for illegals to come in for our southern border. And they have over 10 million, probably over 14 million. With the largest single group now coming over are communist Chinese. That's a scary situation. We've got terrorists coming in. They've let terrorists in. New York has seen they had the brunt of our last terrorist invasion. So I think we've seen enough of it, and I think the country's seen enough of it.
Right, 10 million people, mostly young military-aged men from over 180 countries, not vetted. Now, Congressman, before I let you go, you posted on Truth Social that you're joining Congresswoman Marsha Blackburn, demanding more information about an illegal alien that attacked a woman in a public bathroom in Nashville. We have less than a minute left. The fake news, they want to say that migrant crime, it's simply a myth. What do you have to say to that, sir?
I'd say they're liars because it's happening. It's happened right here in Knoxville, Tennessee. Some dear friends of mine, their son was killed by an illegal. You see it all over our country. They're allowing these people in. You know, we've allowed terrorists in, and they've known that they're terrorists, and they come back and they catch them a year later. We don't know where they've been. They're setting us up for something big, and it's getting close to election time, and we know that's when they want to react to throw the focus off of what's going to happen. This is not just happening by accident. These people are criminals. They're coming in. Cartels control many portions of our border. We've got to put a stop to it. Right. Donald J. Trump is the only one who can do it because this White House and currently this Congress does not have the guts to do anything about it.
He said he'll do that mass deportation plan. It's already in the works on day one if elected again. President Trump. All right. Thank you so much, Congressman Burchett. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.